Today with New Jersey Second Amendment Society's president, Frank Fiamingo, and today you're having a rally up in New Brunswick. What's it about?
Yeah, we're here at the Hilton, East Brunswick, for the purpose of bringing attention to the plight of Shaneen Allen. Now, Shaneen, for those of you who don't know it, is being persecuted by the same Atlantic County prosecutor who gave Ray Rice a slap on the wrist, put him into pretrial intervention program, and sent him on his way. And he knocked out his girlfriend. This young lady, Shaneen Allen, young mother of 2 boys, had been robbed and mugged in her home state of Pennsylvania. She lives in Philadelphia. So she illegally purchased a firearm. She also applied for and was granted a carry permit, which means she went through the rigorous process of having her background checked and having her mental health records searched. And they found her no prior criminal record, and they gave her a carry permit. The mistake that she made, if you want to call it that, was she thought New Jersey was part of the United States and that the Constitution applied here. And she carried her firearm with her Pennsylvania carry permit into New Jersey on her way to set up a birthday party for her son. Well, she was pulled over for allegedly for a lane change infraction, and she voluntarily, when she gave the officer her credentials, her license and registration, she offered to the officer that she also had a valid Pennsylvania carry permit and that she had her locked firearm in her purse. So she was immediately arrested, and she was charged with second-degree gun possession, which is, in New Jersey, is a crime punishable by 7 to 10 years in prison, presumptive 7, minimum 5, 3 years without parole. Well, of course, she got a public defender who really was not helpful at all, and then she brought in a regular attorney, and the prosecutor that we're talking about here, James P. McLean, the Atlantic County prosecutor, tried to offer her a plea deal of 3 years. If she accepted, if she took a plea deal and pled guilty, she would only get 3 years in prison. Of course, she turned it down, because then she would be a convicted felon. So at this point, the prosecutor is going for 10 years, and we are trying to engage Governor Christie, who is here for a fundraiser. It's called his birthday party, but Mitt Romney's here and some other people are here, so we're assuming it's a fundraiser. And we're hoping that we will get the attention of the authorities, and that Governor Christie, who is the chief executive and therefore the chief law enforcement officer, will get involved in this case and, let's say, take the Atlantic County prosecutor under his wing and give him a little guidance in this situation and divert Shaneen Allen from the prosecutorial process and put her into the pretrial intervention program. Maybe she can take Ray Rice's place.
Have you spoken with her?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she called just before I left to come here to thank us for everything that we're doing for her, for supporting her, and for trying to help her. For some of the things that we've done is we provided her recently with a check for $1,000 to help her pay her bills, because in addition to going through this ordeal, because she was charged with a felony, she lost her job. She had 2 jobs, a job as a phlebotomist, and she also worked as a medical assistant. I mean, so she's a single mom trying to keep her family together.
Isn't that kind of wrongful termination when she hasn't been convicted yet?
Well, what happened was they put her in jail for 48 days. So while she was in county lockup.
Or was that because she didn't have money to get bail?
I don't know. But I do know that, you know, since she wasn't able to perform her duty, she lost her job.
Is there a website that anyone can send
absolutely the best
funds
place
to help her out?
Absolutely. You can send funds directly to her to help her pay for her bills, which we're asking people to do. I don't have the links in my head, but if you go to our webpage, NJ2AS.com.
We'll list it on the video.
Yeah, and you can click on her picture. If you go to NJ2AS.com website, you'll see her picture there with her two boys. Click on the picture, you'll get all the links, all the information, the different people that are trying to help.
So this is the photo, let me just zoom in.
Yes.
That you'll see on your website. And any other impertinent information. Is there a similarity between her case and I don't know the name of the gentleman?
Brian Aitken?
Yes.
Well, the similarity is this. In the Brian Aitken case, my personal belief, now I'm not a lawyer, so this is my layman's belief, is that he would never have been convicted by that jury had the jury been given proper instruction. Now, they had asked on a number of occasions for the judge to give them the instructions about what the exemptions were for carrying, for transporting your firearms. Because his transportation of his firearms that he was arrested for was actually legal under the exemption that he was moving. Now, the judge unilaterally decided that he was not moving, and so therefore would not allow the jury to hear the instructions that that was an exemption. So what we're looking to do is to make sure that none of that nonsense goes on. We want the judge to handle, Judge Donia, we want him to handle this fairly if it goes to trial. But what we're really trying to do is trying to head it off so that it never even goes to trial.
Another question I have, how important is it that this be resolved in her favor to other people across the country and especially here in New Jersey?
Well, think about it. Basically, what New Jersey is saying is we do not believe in the Second Amendment. We do not believe in the right to keep and bear arms. And it doesn't matter whether you have a valid carry permit from any other state. New Jersey will not recognize the carry permit from any other state in the United States of America. That being the case, it's pretty evident that not only does New Jersey not believe in the right to keep and bear arms, but they believe in suppressing the right of other people to keep and bear arms who have already been cleared and processed. So, we're hoping eventually that this will help us lead to national reciprocity, whereby if you have a carry permit in any state, it's good in any other state, which is as it should be. And then eventually will lead to an end to the suppression of the right to keep and bear arms here in New Jersey.
And as we are here at the beginning of this, maybe we'll be lucky enough to get Governor Christie to come out and address us.
I would hope so.
On this issue, and if so, we will be adding that video onto this.
I would hope so. It's a very important issue. This woman does not belong in prison, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that that doesn't happen.
A lot of people should realize also, if it can happen to her, it can happen to anyone.
Absolutely.
And it's just a matter of time until it gets even worse with the legislation in the state, the way they want to make you even thinking about a gun or a bullet punishable by a crime.
Well, see, the biggest problem with New Jersey is the laws make no distinction between a law-abiding individual who perhaps makes a technical error and someone who is a criminal, who actually commits a crime, takes their gun and, holds up a wah-wah or threatens someone with it. There's no distinction made. So we want to make sure that that distinction is made, and that the Graves Act, which is the minimum mandatory, it's an act in New Jersey that says any crime involving a firearm. So her coming across the border, not doing anything other than coming across the border.
Now, when we say coming across the border, it's from Philadelphia into New Jersey. It's not Mexico into the United States.
Coming across the border from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania into New Jersey is considered a crime. So therefore, since she had a firearm, that was the crime. It's a crime involving a firearm. Well, the Graves Act engages, and when the Graves Act engages, minimum mandatory sentences are applied, and that's the 7 to 10 that I mentioned before. 7 to 10 years in prison, minimum 5, presumptive 7, minimum 5, 3 years without parole. Horrible.
It's amazing that there's tighter border security in New Jersey than there is on our southern border of the country.
I'm afraid that's true. That is true.
Thanks a lot, Frank. We'll be getting back with you later.
You're welcome, and let's hope that we can save this woman from prison. Thank you.
My name name is Tony Simon.
Okay.
I'm a certified NRA instructor. I've been in the firearms my whole life, but as part of my instruction, I tell students they have to know the laws of the land, because you can be victim of someone's political agenda, and that's what I think Shaneen Allen is, partially. The other part, I listened to an interview with her, and they asked her, was it racism on the judge's part or the prosecutor's part? Part of me goes, that's ridiculous, but the other part goes, maybe. The same prosecutor saw Ray Rice knock his fiance out in an elevator. This black woman was abused, knocked unconscious, and dragged out like a sack of potatoes. He gives this guy a slap on the wrist. A black woman comes in with a firearm to be able to defend herself. He wants to send her to jail for the maximum that you can send someone to prison for. And he says he's going to do it to make an example of her to others. The woman had no criminal intent. I totally understand locking people up that have criminal intent. She had none other than to protect herself. These small logs continually get added to the fire over a lifetime of me, at least. I can't speak for all African Americans because I'm not. But it's like this. You have the guy that's choked to death in New York. Police are investigated. It'll be fine. Just multiple events, small ones, happen over a lifetime until Ferguson blows up and people go, why are they protesting over someone that's a criminal? And it's like, because it's emotional. It's not thinking, it's emotional. They're tired of police killing people that look like them and then getting a pass, because we should understand that this is just justice, the justice system. Because I think Mike Brown committed a crime, he attacked a police officer and he got killed. But you can't tell people not to be emotional when you watch innocent people or people that committed a crime getting a book thrown at them. But if they had the right last name, or if they were, let's say, a drug dealer and had information to give up, snitched on someone, or they play the let's make a deal game with her sentencing, they would have dropped the gun charges if she would have known who the drug dealer in her neighborhood was, just had some information to give up. So you see the justice system being used against people. It's kind of hard to erase their ethnicity from it when you're the same ethnicity. I don't necessarily buy into it. I don't think something's wrong with the system. But I do think there is a problem, and some people will look at it that way. And sometimes I have a hard time backing off and going, this just happens. It's not because of her race. But then when you watch the two things that happen in the same time, more or less, you go, what is this? This is two high-profile cases involving African Americans. One is a criminal who intentionally knocked a woman out.
Now you're comparing to two profile cases to Rice?
Shaneen Allen and Rice.
Okay.
I see the two high-profile cases as two. The punishment should have been switched.
And then everyone that'll watch this video, or if this was on the news and the media was covering this, would agree with you 100%.
Yeah, the prosecutor, I mean, it should be switched. There's no reason this woman should be locked up.
When she was pulled over, she was voluntarily told the police officer, I have a gun.
Yes.
And she did it knowing, because by law in Pennsylvania, you're supposed to notify them, correct?
Yes.
And the same thing is in New Jersey.
Same thing is in, well, I don't know what the law is in New Jersey because I know I can't carry. I moved from Virginia in 1993 before the internet was huge.
Right.
So I called every state between Virginia and New Jersey to find out how I could legally carry my firearm in my vehicle.
To travel up from Virginia to here.
Virginia to here.
Okay.
I had to call state police headquarters each state because unlike now when you just Google it, I called the state police figuring I'd find out what the real scoop is. And I called New Jersey and the lady told me my ammo had to be separate compartment, my gun had to be locked up in the trunk, and I started laughing. I was like, no ma'am, I'm serious, I'd really like to know. And she was like, what do you mean I'm serious? I said, you're not telling me a joke? That's how you have to transport a firearm up here? She was like, why? What is it in Virginia? I said, on your driver's seat, and if the police officer pulls you over, just tell him you have a firearm. She said, well, that's not that way up here. Shaneen Allen should have done the same thing. I'm not making an excuse. She did violate the law, but there are other ways around this than trying to make an example of the woman and locking her away for a decade.
Hopefully the judge will make the right sense and saying this was a woman that made a mistake and not punish her according to the law, or is he obligated to do that?
I have no idea what he's obligated to do. I don't know the law. But I know life isn't fair. I know that. But some people are in the position to at least make life fair for someone, and that's what the position the judge is in right now. He can make it fair. He can let this woman go with pretrial intervention. She doesn't have to have a record, because she also lost her career. She lost her license to practice in Pennsylvania.
Well, I heard she lost her license. She's lost her house because she can't make the payments on it. She has 2 kids that they might, I don't know if she's married or divorced, but, you know, there's a woman with 2 children and they were with her that night.
Yes,
So,
the father, her children's father's in the picture. I don't know what their relationship is. But from the interview I heard with her, she said her 6-year-old, I think he's 6, was frightened all summer of being away from mommy, because the last time he got taken away from mommy, she went to jail for 46 days. So you're just causing a lot of pain to a family, pretty much for political ambition, and I think it's disgusting.
what most people don't realize, this could be anyone.
This can be anyone.
Anyone. You don't, it doesn't have to be black.
No, it doesn't.
Let's get the Asians mentioned in this, because they're never mentioned into this.
I have lots of friends, multi-ethnic, of course. I mean, this is Jersey. If you don't have multi-ethnic friends, you must be staying in your house. But it can be anyone. It can be anyone that goes to a rifle range, anyone that owns a firearm. How's this? If you don't own a firearm and you pick up a firearm magazine for someone, or a clip for someone, and it's a 30-rounder, you never knew. It was an uncle out of state that had you give to your cousin when you got home. You can go to jail because of that 30-round magazine and no firearm on you. You can go to jail. And if they have political ambition, they will use you as an example. And that could be anyone.
Now, my question to you, as if no one has noticed that you're a black gentleman, where's Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson?
Well, this doesn't fit their agenda.
Why not?
Because they have to say black people are helpless. Black people need them,
But
according to them.
She was helpless because she was mugged twice, and that's why she got a firearm.
No, that's real helpless. No, they want pretend helpless. People that commit crimes and get locked up. Those are the ones they really want to help.
So there was really no, in the real color of racist that they would be, is there was no green involved in them for this.
There you go. There's no exposure. There's not a lot of exposure. No one came out. If there were tons of cameras here and an angle, I'm sure those gentlemen would be there. But let's never get this twisted. Please, if I get arrested by the police, Jesse and Al, please come and make all kinds of protests and help get me out of jail. But other than that, I think you're disgusting.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Wake up, my fellow Americans. Wake up, wake up. Your liberties are in peril. Time to stand your ground, patriots. Wake up, wake up. The state of New Jersey is in opposition to we the people and the constitutional rights that were granted to us by our Creator. Wake up, America. Wake up, wake up. Your Second Amendment right is under threat. We have corrupt judges, corrupt prosecutors, corrupt legislatures within the state of New Jersey that do not honor the Second Amendment of the United States of America. The Constitution of the United States clearly says that this Constitution shall be the supreme law of the land in the 50 states. It further declares that the judges in every state shall be bound to this Constitution, and no state law can overturn the sure guarantees of the Constitution of the United States of America. Yet in the state of New Jersey, they do not honor the citizen's Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Wake up, New Jersey citizens, wake up. Your liberties are under assault. Time to call the governor out. Time to call the New Jersey judges out. Time to call the prosecutors of the state of New Jersey to obey their oath of office. The prosecutors, judges, and legislature took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. They are in violation of their oath of office, and they have denied New Jersey citizens the right to keep and bear arms. The Supreme Court has ruled recently that the right to keep and bear arms is for the people. Wake up America. They are coming for your liberties, they are coming for your guns, and history will clearly speak to you, if you look at history, that when a government attempts to take away your right to keep and bear arms, nothing but disaster follows thereafter. We have a corrupt regime in New Jersey that does not honor the Second Amendment. The judges, lawyers, prosecutors, and legislatures have denied New Jersey citizens the right to keep and bear arms and refuse to issue carry concealed permits to 95% of New Jersey citizens. Wake up, my fellow Americans, wake up. Your state is in peril. Time to hold these judges, prosecutors, and legislature accountable to the supreme law of the land. Enough is enough. Wake up, my fellow New Jersey citizens. Wake up, wake up.
Hi, and your name is?
Matthew Andras.
And you're here today because?
I'm here to support Shaneen Allen as well as protest our laws that are governing the state of New Jersey on how they treat honest citizens as criminals. I'm an active member of NJ2AS, which if people don't know it, is the New Jersey Second Amendment Society. You need to look us up. Take a chance. Throw it on purpose. Come check out, come to the website, look to see how this woman is being, no other word for it, but railroaded by the Atlantic County prosecutor, James McLean. Same prosecutor who was more than willingly to allow Ray Rice into pretrial intervention. Why? Because he has money. She doesn't. Is that what makes the difference in this world, in this country? If you don't have money, you can't get a fair shake?
That's a very good observation. And the media is really attacking her, and he's guilty of an offense, Rice.
Yes.
Of assaulting his fiancée at the time, now wife.
Yes.
And here is someone that was totally obeying the law.
Well, technically she did not obey the law.
Well,
okay.
She wasn't allowed in the state of New Jersey with the gun because she's not a Jersey resident.
Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Okay, let's be honest with the world and say ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Now, did she fail to learn the law? Yes, she did. Now, should she be punished for that with 10 years in prison and losing her children for making that mistake? No. That's where you're going to draw the difference. Now, she came across, she went through what everybody's asking for. She went, she was fingerprinted, she was background checked, she was criminal checked. There's no history of drugs, there's no history of alcohol, there's no history of crime. So why are we going to take our tax dollars and throw this woman into prison, harden her, and make her kids lose their mother? Why are we doing that? Ask yourself. For a mistake.
The state's not going to make any money off her on fines because she's totally broke.
No, they'll never make any money. This is a prosecutor who's trying to make a name for himself, and I don't think he expected the backlash of the citizens who are just tired of being treated like criminals for being honest. Her judge said to her, "You should have lied." Her cop that arrested her said to her, "You should have lied." So, by being honest, she's now being prosecuted. Why is that?
I would like to know.
I think the world would like to know.
And the prosecutor hasn't spoken out about this anymore.
The prosecutor, which we've heard from very good sources, is now walking around with armed security guards because he's feeling pressure and feeling heat. Why does he feel that he needs to have
armed security guards?
Why does he need armed security guards when us sheeple aren't even allowed to carry an honest can of mace to protect ourselves. You know what the regulation is? Less than 2 ounces. It's 3/4 of an ounce. You know what the standard size is? Police issue, 2 ounces. Better yet, you know what I want to be able to protect myself with? A slingshot. Totally illegal in New Jersey.
They're illegal in New Jersey.
God forbid, if the police ever came to my backyard as a child, I'd never get out of jail.
For a slingshot.
We had plenty of them.
And the funny thing was, I was looking on Amazon to order some supplies, and I was just curious, and I looked up for a slingshot, and they'll ship it to you here in New Jersey.
Yes, they don't know the law. They'll ship it, but if you get caught with it, it's a Class 2 felony.
So they're breaking the law by selling a weapon in the state.
They are technically breaking the law by selling a weapon, or what New Jersey considers to be a weapon. The rest of the world considers it to be a toy.
You know, that's what makes New Jersey the laughingstock that it is lately.
Sometimes they call us the armpit of America, not for good reason.
Yeah, and there's no deodorant used in this armpit.
Well, look at where we are and smell the air. That should give you your answers right there.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome. We're off to pass out more flyers. Take care.
Officers of this land that make unlawful decrees to take away the rights of the people. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Governor Christie, obey the law of the land. Obey the Constitution. Wake up.
Michael Georges.
And why are you here today?
I'm here to protest Shaneen Allen being arrested when she came over the border from Pennsylvania. She had the legal right to own a handgun. She had been mugged twice in Philadelphia, where she lives, and she was traveling to Atlantic City with her 2 boys, aged 10 and 6, to a surprise birthday party. She was stopped by a state trooper for a minor traffic infraction. She forgot to turn her signal on when she changed lanes. As prescribed in Pennsylvania law, she let the officer know that she had a handgun in her purse and that she had a document to say she had the legal right to own that. She was arrested because in the state of New Jersey, they do not accept another state's right to carry a firearm. Now, she believed she was perfectly within her rights. She even offered this information of her own free will to the police officer as she was giving her license, registration, etc. She had 2 boys in her car. Luckily, they were able to get in touch with her, the father of the 2 boys, who was able to take charge of them when she was arrested. Now, this goes against people's sense of right and wrong, their conscience, which is something that makes us human. She can get a minimum of 5 years and up to 10 years in prison for this honest mistake. Anybody with a sense of right and wrong should understand that these charges should be dropped. And to think that maybe at the end of the process, Governor Christie could pardon her would not be right, because she would still be a convicted felon. She would lose her right to vote and other civil rights.
He can't expunge all that?
He has the power and the right to stop this right now, and to she can go through some sort of lecture, which they do with certain people that have committed some minor crimes, and they just, like community service or something like that. He has the power to switch it over to something like that. And he should, because if he allows this to proceed,
Wake up, America!
the only last resort that she has before his pardon is what they call jury nullification, where the jury, even though technically she broke that law, they can say, but my conscience, my sense of right and wrong, common sense, she's not guilty of anything. She's just a common, silly mistake. And they can each legally say, not guilty. That's her last hope.
Now, am I correct that Pennsylvania law says that when you are pulled over for a vehicle infraction that you're supposed to notify the police that you do have a gun in the vehicle?
Yes, and it's not just Pennsylvania, it's true in Virginia, it's probably true in every state that allows people to have firearms. If you get stopped by a state trooper or any police officer for whatever infringement, you have to let them know right then and there, I have a firearm in my vehicle. They have to know that right up front. And it's for your own good too, because if for some reason they search your car and find it, they might think something nefarious. But if you let them know up front.
It's kind of ironic that her being totally honest and obeying the law made her life much worse than it really should be.
And in fact, after the fact, the officer said out loud that she should have never said anything to him. If she had said nothing, she would have never been arrested.
So he's basically telling people to break the law.
He's telling her that.
But he could have decided right then and there to let her go.
No, once she told him, he had to arrest her because that was his job. That's what he's supposed to do. As soon as she told him.
It's not his job to tell someone to break the law either.
No, but if he didn't know she had it and she didn't tell him, he would have never known to arrest her. So technically, he said, if you never told me anything and I didn't know you had it, you would have just gotten a minor ticket for changing lanes without signaling.
And a lot of people are wondering, now, should you always tell the truth or should you tell the truth? You know, you apply for a gun permit, you want to obey the law, that's why you applied for a gun permit, and now they're making it that you really have to decide, do I obey the law or break the law?
Well, we're talking about jurisdictions in different states. As far as the state of Pennsylvania was concerned, she was perfectly legal. But because of the New Jersey law that does not accept, other states allowing citizens to, own and bear arms in their car, she broke the law. But the law, what it comes down to is the law should be changed. New Jersey should accept other states that have given a legal right to a law-abiding citizen to own and bear arms. They should not infringe on that right when that person has the legal right in their state. They should honor it, because this is what happens when they don't honor it. You wind up arresting an innocent law-abiding person, never broke a law, had it because she was mugged twice where she lives in Philadelphia.
And you would think her being in Philadelphia, which is a inner city, it would have been tougher for her to get a permit, but she got one there, easier than you can get one in New Jersey too.
Yes, Pennsylvania is not a draconian state when it comes to Second Amendment rights. It freely acknowledges. Pennsylvania freely acknowledges citizens' Second Amendment rights. So it would not have been difficult for her to get. And especially since she was mugged twice, which was probably reported to the police, they had the legal record. They understood what her motivation was. And she's got 2 children, which I estimate the older one is about 10 and the younger one is about 6. So I'm sure she would not have had a problem to get a handgun to protect herself and her boys.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.